This is the Self-Storage Podcast, where we share the knowledge and skills from the industry's leading investors, developers, and operators to help you launch and grow your self-storage business. I'm your host, Scott Meyers, and over the past 16 years, we have acquired, developed, converted, and syndicated over 2 million square feet of self-storage nationwide with the help of my incredible team at selfstorageinvesting.com, who has helped thousands of people achieve greatness in self-storage. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Self-Storage Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Meyers, and this week's guest is Julie Houston with Fuller Wallet Media. Julie has been in the affiliate and marketing space for over 10 years, and I have known her since the beginning of her successful marketing career. Prior to that, she served in the U.S. Navy and earned a Master's of Science degree in psychology. Julie is also an active real estate investor, buying properties in her local market using creative deal structures and private equity. And on this episode, we discuss the various marketing strategies she uses to grow her real estate business in today's changing economy. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Julie Houston of Fuller Wallet Media. Julie Houston, so good to catch up with you again. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's so nice to catch up with you again. It's been a while.
Well, I have filled up folks in with what you've been doing recently, how you started your company and what your focus is on, which is why I'm so excited to have you back on the podcast to talk about Fuller Wallet. So if you would, fill in the gaps from the intro that I just gave, and then let us know what you've been up to recently.
Absolutely. So I've been in the internet marketing, online education space for over 10 years now. It wasn't until the end of last year, I recently started Fuller Wallet Media, which is basically a full service company that helps entrepreneurs and educators in various niches from the front end of their business all the way through to the back end of their business. Because we found that there was a lack of, everybody's looking for sales, marketing, and lead, these 3 primary things. So we wanted our focus to focus on those 3 primary things for our clients. So our team is a highly educated team. I invest in my team. My team has all been through appropriate training for their expertise. So I have somebody that's fully qualified in affiliate management that has been trained by someone other than myself. I have a podcasting team that's fully qualified and trained, 2 funnel experts, so copywriters. So we're really like a one-stop shop for a lot of people in business and entrepreneurs. But what's unique about it is it doesn't just relate to one space or niche. Like we could do this for the concrete company down the road or the barn feed store down the road. So we really like to dial in on a company's pain points and focus and ultimate business goals and drive to that. We've had several clients that are focused on building up the private capital on the back end or either partnering with their students. They have various methods that they're using. And we build out a funnel for them through either like a lead magnet or through their website that ultimately will drive them through to an application process in most cases when it comes to raising private capital. So we can eliminate right off the bat, clients that do not qualify for them, that wouldn't be a candidate for them for private capital, for example. So we vet that out in the process that we build out customary per client. And I find that a lot of success we're having with that is all about in building the relationships like any other business. I mean, most of the clients that come through are highly vetted. We vet them on my team and bring the serious players to them. And we've had a lot of success with that. I've had clients where through relationships and bringing them in through various forms of media that we've raised over $2.5 million in private capital. I have another client recently. He called me in bind. He had a deal. He's like, I need to come up with $300K for private money. And it's all through the relationship. I made one phone call and raised $300K that day for him. So it was really successful, but that's through relationships on building it out through my own real estate company as an investor.
So when you're working with somebody, let's say that it's a first-time syndicator and they've gone through their own current list of family and friends that are investing in their projects or in their company, and now they're looking to raise more outside. What do the first steps look like? Is it setting up a separate website? Is it going out to social media or just building a list where then that person, the syndicator, can go out and call other folks like you just mentioned? Or do they work with you and your team does some of the calling? Can we walk through maybe the first 5 or 6 steps as to what that may look like?
So we actually will build a custom landing page for them and set up a funnel that goes through an application process. And then my team vets all of the applications that come in based off the requirements for that particular investor. So every investor is different. Some have certain requirements. So we'll vet them for them and then hand them over to them to close the deal. And then they can move forward with whatever property or what their acquisition is that they're focused on. We try to take the step work out of them trying to build it, formulate it, create the applications. All of it is streamlined so that it's an automated process as well for them, though it easily is in a scheduling software for them. All the notes are in there. Everything is built out custom for them in a platform for them so they can fully manage it as well.
So you're, in essence, in volleyball terms, you would do a bump or a set and then hand off that warm client over to the syndicator to then not spike it, because that's not the proper term, but to move them into their ecosystem and to invest with them. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is correct. We get on the phone and we get to know these people, their pain points, focus, what's going on in their life, all of that information for them, so that when we hand over a warm lead, they already know through reviewing it, like their background, their personal situation, current situation, any financial information that we have. So we go through the real nitty gritty so they don't have to. So it saves them a lot of time in the long run.
Okay. So once you have that landing page built out, then are you running Facebook ads or ads on Google? Are you running paid traffic to it? Are you going out to other platforms like Facebook or LinkedIn and utilizing those databases? How are you getting the leads into the funnel?
So we do it through various ways. We have media platforms that we have associations with that'll mail. We have affiliates that will help mail for certain things like this. It seems to be common these days. We also do it through multiple social media platforms. We don't do paid traffic on it. If a customer wants to do paid traffic, that's totally up to them. They can use anything that we create to use for that. But we don't do it. It's all organically done through relationships, connections that we have, and media platforms and agencies that we work with.
And what do you find now are the nets to use to catch all the folks that are looking for yield as they're coming out of the stock market and they're doubling down on real estate or these hard assets now that we're heading into a recession? Is the focus shifted now? Are you looking into different ponds to dip your net in to get investors to invest? Or how has that changed as we head into this next economic cycle?
To be honest, a lot of people that I speak to are gearing more towards the commercial right now. Commercial, storage investing, commercial properties, apartments, especially with the upcoming recession. That's been a primary focus for most of our clients that we work with. So we've developed the messaging, the pain points, and everything geared around that in order to bring in the proper clientele. And we've been having a lot of success using multiple social media platforms. Believe it or not, we're having a huge success with TikTok. I mean, we're getting really credible, valuable leads. If you take the time and really go through TikTok today, there's lawyers and doctors that are on there building their practices like no other, because a lot of people thought it was just for the younger generation, but it's really an untapped resource that a lot of people aren't utilizing properly for lead generation for their business.
Well, I think that then goes back to, and the answer to this question is already in the comment that you just made, and that is, if you're looking to raise private equity, do you build a platform based upon the business and a team of individuals and a brand versus the individual? And, you know, as we found over the years, that regardless, there is a team that needs to be in place. It can't be one individual, but they need to know, like, and trust the individual because they're investing with that person, and that person is the leader of the company. So I think that answers the question why TikTok is doing so well, because it is that individual who is putting himself or herself out there so that people can see who they are, what they're made of, and if it's somebody that they feel that people can connect with, that they feel that they can know, like, and trust and do business with, whether it be to pick their attorney or their doctor or somebody is going to handle their investments for them. What would you add to that?
So I would add definitely that I wouldn't undervalue some of the younger demographic platforms. I think that a lot of people are kind of grazing over them, where we're finding them extremely successful, extremely successful and beneficial. And we're getting highly qualified leads through these platforms too. Like, these are highly qualified, vetted leads that are coming in, because I think today, especially since the pandemic, okay, when the world shut down, everybody went to social media.
Yep.
right? It's safe to agree. Everybody went to social media. And it's also safe to say that in the last 3 years, there's a lot of new people in our industry and other niches that are up and coming. And I think for the long-term players and investors and serious investors that have been around, they're jumping on this opportunity right now because other people are just stuck in the rut of not utilizing these resources.
So, Julie, the new investor that may be sitting back and thinking, oh, I'm late to the game. How am I going to get as many followers, as many likes? How am I going to get the traffic? And, how do people sift through all the noise and find me if I'm just getting ready to start? Is it a matter of just getting out there? I know the first step is doing it, starting, but the next is how do you then ascend to the top quickly? Is it just a number of different, posts wherever? Is it, syndicating, blasting out all forms of media so that you rise to the top no matter what? Or what is the strategy ahead of that to get to the top? Is it in the messaging? Is it in the copy? Yeah.
Correct.
So speak to that a little bit.
Okay.
How do you get found so that people find you for what it is that you're looking for with all the noise that's out there?
So to be honest, I mean, most of our business has been word of mouth because we've been in the industry for so long. And I'm blessed that I work with some really incredible people. But for somebody new or just getting into it, the basic that we always recommend. So for any social media platform, any kind of messaging and pain point, like I have copywriters on my team. We literally go through a call and we break down everything in their business, their goals, their pain points, their 12-month goal, 6-month goal, and where they want to be at. And then we start providing and building the content. And then as we build it within 30 days, we know, okay, this type of content is converting way better for this individual compared to someone else. Like somebody else might be great with like personal videos when they're driving in their car, where I might have a client that does better with videos that are more, playing the role of two people. There's multiple ways that you can use content online and social media. And finding that perfect method for that individual is what we focus on. So then we go back and we give suggestions, tip, an outline and guideline for them to follow. Ideally, they help provide us with the content that we know is converting the best. And we interact on the comments. We keep the comments and the posting engaged with people so that they know like this is real people that they're interacting with. If they're asking questions, like we'll answer any questions that we can answer throughout the process and really build out their business based around like what works best for them, because what might work for you might not work for someone else.
So, Julie, a lot of what you do is also affiliate marketing. So I know a lot of affiliate marketing is on the information side of the business or for information businesses. We have a number of folks included here in Storage Nation that are investors in self-storage facilities and are raising private capital. And then there are some that are influencers and who are also looking to utilize any type and all types of joint ventures and affiliate relationships to grow their business. So can you speak a little bit to that as to your expertise, because that's how you and I got connected many years ago, was on the affiliate side of the business. So can you share a little bit about what that might look like for our listeners?
Absolutely. So Fuller Wallet Media has multiple connections and multiple relationships with various different lists and niches, right? And with these relationships, we have the ability to send out their messaging. So if they're focused and they want to just target realtors, we can do that. If they want to target a specific state or county or area, we can geo-target that. If they want to be nationwide, we can target that. We can really customize their messaging and dial it in exactly to where they want it to be for their business and their ultimate goal of their business.
So, Julie, somebody's starting out, they've got an area in which they want to focus on, and they want to get a presence online and have anybody that is interested in perhaps selling their facility within this state or these zip codes or this region, or they're looking for anybody who may want to invest passively with them, but they want to do it in their own backyard in a certain area. How do you help them with geo-targeting or being specific and grabbing those folks and those eyeballs that are in a specific, geo-targeted area?
Absolutely. Good question. So what we do is most of it is through our email marketing efforts and relationships that we have. So we're fortunate enough that we have a very broad range of people that we work with and lists that we manage that really target so many various areas that we can go in and target whatever market somebody wants to focus on. for their business. We don't do direct mail, although we can review direct mail.
Okay. So then when those leads come in, do the leads go to the landing page? I know you mentioned that you do some pre-vetting of clients. Do you have, say, a call center, or are you doing outbound calls then from folks if they perform a certain action? How does some of these pre-vetted leads get over to your client?
So typically we build a landing page out in their platform, whatever platform they prefer to use. We build out a landing page to an application process, which then goes either to a scheduling link to schedule a call, or they fill out a form and then we follow up with a telephone call. So my team is highly trained on getting on the phone, going through the vetting process, going through the qualification process, and seeing if they're even a candidate. We still send every lead over to our customers and we'll add all of the notes, but any kind of warm or hot lead, we immediately send it over and let them know this is a hot lead, like you should jump on as soon as possible.
Got it. Okay, so now, Julie, let's shift gears for the self-storage facility owner. Our market for self-storage is typically a 5-mile radius. People aren't going to usually travel more than 5 miles to get to their stuff. So those are the folks that we want to target if we're building a facility or converting a building, turning it into self-storage, or if we acquire a new facility and perhaps they didn't have much of a marketing plan before, they had no marketing plan. How do we make a splash in that market, and how do you assist folks to be able to get as many eyeballs when they're getting ready? It is demand-based. Self-storage is, how do you work with folks to be able to find their facility above anybody else? People are actually ready and they go online and they start searching for self-storage, Smithville. What does that look like?
So for SEO purposes, we review every other storage facility in that area. So we'll look up all the demographics in that area, all the all the storage units in that area. We do all of our homework based on a client. So whether it's in Texas, California, or Illinois, whatever their expertise is, we zone in, we go through all that area. Then we go through all of that area to see where are their competitors or what are their primary competitors that we can see if they come up online. We do a lot of back-end research so that we can kind of have a clearer picture for them, and then we can kind of design it based around that and their market that they're targeting.
Perfect. Well, this is a little different industry than others. Blasting out coupons in a Val pack or advertising just to advertise is not a good use of resources, because it is demand based. When people need storage, that's when they begin looking. And so we spend an awful lot of time working to make sure that we are doing some geo-targeting in a particular area, that when somebody search for self-storage in that market, we want to end up at the top. So yes, there is a lot of magic in that sauce. And as much as we want to be able to do and control on our own, we recognize that obviously we need experts like you to help us along, because it changes from time to time, almost constantly. And to stay on top of that and stay on top of the competition means that we need to have somebody like your firm doing that as well. So Julie, let's do this in the time that we have left. What are some of the things you understand who are the folks are that are listening here? Folks are looking to get into the business, they're looking to grow the business, and they're just looking for all of the above to make that happen, as well as clients when they get into the business. What are some of the areas that they should focus on, and why would they want to reach out to you to get assistance in those areas?
So I would definitely say for anyone that wants to start out and wanted to reach out to possibly my company as an example for a service, the requirement would be to have at least a plan in place, a clear, concrete plan, what their goal is, what their exact 6-month and 12-month goal is, because we customize it per client. So what might work for you might not work for someone else, for example, who's starting off at a smaller scale. So we customize it per client based on a lot of what they go over on their onboarding call. We onboard everybody. We see if they're even a candidate to fit with us, because not everybody's always a candidate to fit with us too. And we want to make sure, at the end of the day, our biggest concern is bringing more value to the bottom line of anybody that we work with, any customer, any client, any company. Our ultimate goal is to just bring to that bottom line and help them grow in that area where they need to grow. And we know through marketing changes every day. I mean, look at the algorithms on Facebook. Bombed a couple months back, even it's still not doing well. I speak to people every day about that. And utilizing all of the different social media platforms and syndicated outlets that we have, special features. We have connections with like articles and article syndication. I mean, it's not just like we build it out and leave them hanging dry. Like we have multiple relationships where it's not only a build out, but it goes out to like our many partners, especially in that area. We have people all over the US that have targeted lists in each state. So we work with them regularly, and we've had a lot of success with doing it that way.
Well, we operate in the same fashion, Julie, and that is it's much easier for us in our organization. You know, we've been known forever to, one of our companies educates people and teaches people how to get into self-storage and launching their business and creating a business plan in order to do so, because we really can't help somebody, which is where we really shine, is we take people from 0 to 55 miles an hour. We really shine, and the most value we add is taking them from 55 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour. And that is, sounds like what your sweet spot is as well. But that doesn't happen without a plan. So on our end, we help with a plan, and we do that at our Self-Storage Academy and through our resources, but really in our mastermind and other areas of our businesses where we really come alongside of folks and then help them to get up to 100 miles an hour. But it doesn't happen without a plan, folks. So if you don't have a plan, we can help with that. And if you don't have a marketing plan, then you should at least get a bare bones minimum of some goals in place and how you think you can achieve that before reaching out to Julie and Fuller Wallet Media to take you to that next level. So Julie, with that, as we navigate through the waters of this oncoming or the recession that we're in right now and the ever-changing environment within marketing, as you mentioned, every single day, what are some of the things that people need to at least be looking out for to become a student of marketing, even as they're creating this plan and as they're looking to ramp things up? What are some of the, maybe the top 1 or 2 areas of things that they need to focus on in order to get to that place?
I think one of the top 2 things I would definitely recommend, always be yourself, authentically be yourself. There's not enough of that out there today. There's a lot of shiny object syndrome. Be yourself. A lot of people are more attracted to the clients we work with that are authentically just themselves. You don't have to get in a fancy car or a fancy suit. Like, just be yourself. I think a lot of people resonate when they can relate to someone because they know, hey, like, if this guy could do it, I could do it too. Or this girl could do it, I could do it too. So be relatable. That's the first thing. Anything you post online, anything you send, like, just be your authentic self. The second thing I would highly recommend is really focus on what is your ultimate goal and your bottom line with where you're starting and where you want to be. And when you're ready for something like on the marketing side, then we'll sit down and we go through and we really break down a plan that works best for you and your company and your goals and what's going to be beneficial for your business growth in a 6 to 12 month period. So those would be like my 2 top suggestions for sure.
Yeah, I think the consumer, and I can even point to myself, just about everybody is an expert now in detecting BS when they see it. Yeah. And so nobody likes to be sold, and they know it when it's starting to happen. And that immediately is when people turn off and turn away. And with the attention span of folks getting smaller and lesser every day, it's important to just be not only compelling, but to be yourself. And you can do both at the same time. People want to do business with you because they know, like, and trust you. And if they can never find out who you are, then they will never do that. So I couldn't agree more. And again, going back to a plan as to what it is that your ultimate goal is. Many folks out there are teaching multiple ways of looking at this marketing game. I think Gary Vaynerchuk is one of the best out there. If you haven't read his book, Crush It, or just listen to what he says on his podcast, I mean, it's jab, 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 left hook. And I love Gary. He's awesome. And if you just follow what he's doing as he invites you to do, just put out good content and let people know, like, and trust you, and just educate them to show that you know what it is that you're doing in your own business. And then every once in a while, the left hook doesn't even really have to be a left hook. It's just and by the way, head over to our website over here if you want to learn more or learn about what it's like to partner with us. And it's just natural, and people expect that. You don't put out free content without some reason behind it, but you don't need to let them know what that reason is every single time that you're posting and putting out a piece of educational content. I agree. I couldn't agree more. Well, Julie, as once again, I want to thank you so much for your time. It's so great to get back together with you and to learn about what you're doing. So what are the best ways that people can get in touch with you to learn a little bit more about what you're doing over at Fuller Wallet? So they could actually contact us at fullerwalletmedia.com. That's our direct website if they want to go through there, or they can send us the email at hello@fullerwalletmedia.com. Fantastic. Well, we've got a lot more that we're going to take a deep dive into. We're just scratching the surface. So Julie, our resident marketing partner, thank you so much for being on the show, and we look forward to catching up with you. Thank you for having me. It was such an honor. All right. Take care, everyone. Hey gang, wait 3 things before you leave. First, don't forget to subscribe to the Self Storage Podcast and turn on your notifications so you never miss another episode. And while you're there, please leave us a 5-star review if you like the show. Second, be sure to share your favorite episodes and more via Instagram, and don't forget to tag us. And lastly, head to the links in the show description and hit the follow and subscribe button on Twitter and Facebook to get a front row seat as we grow and scale our business and bring you along with us. Take care.